Hi, this is JJ DiGeronimo, the president of Tech Savvy Women and Purposeful Woman, and you've joined us for our Women in STEM video series. Today we have Emily Liptow with us. Emily is currently a STEM college student, and she joins us from The Ohio State University. I'm so glad you're here. I'm looking forward to hearing about how you got into a STEM degree.
I'm going into my third year at Ohio State in the Industrial and Systems Engineering program, and I'm also minoring in dance and entrepreneurship. So it's really a good time so far, and I still have about 4 semesters left, including the one that I'm in. So yeah.
That is excellent. I interview so many women in all ages, but you really are my first woman still in college. So for all the women listening in, what really made you go in this direction?
So I went to an all-girls school for high school, and there we definitely had a big push and a lot of encouragement for exploring STEM fields between college guidance counselors and just our teachers. And I had some really great, especially like physics teachers that I really loved, and a lot of really great support. We also had an engineering program, which was very interactive. It was very hands-on, a lot of teamwork, and it was sort of my first taste of what engineering would be like. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot and had a lot of fun with it, and definitely I think that sort of kickstarted my interest. And then, between like supportive college guidance counselors, also supportive family. I think that's what initially got me interested. And as I looked into the program at Ohio State, it was nice. I initially went in undecided with engineering, so I was in the engineering track, but didn't quite know which one I wanted to do. Which was nice that they allowed me time to sort of figure that out. And so then I ended up choosing industrial engineering, which I think has so far been a really great fit. And the combination of having the math and science, which I've always enjoyed, but also getting more of a business perspective in some ways, also a lot of like project management and operations sort of view on things, has been really great. And I think that it will really set me off well for after graduation. So it's been good.
That's great. And when you chose your discipline within engineering, what do you plan to do with industrial engineering?
You can see industrial engineering in virtually any sort of company. I tend to be a big picture person. I like to be the leader on projects, and I think industrial engineering seems to be setting me up for that way. And I've really enjoyed. I'm in a cognitive engineering class, and we're learning about designing even software, which I think is cool. So I think that's something that have sort of shifted towards, is how can I apply industrial engineering skills, I guess, in more of a technology or software context. So we'll see. I'm still figuring that out. I think between internships and talking with other professionals in the fields, sort of helping me narrow down what I want to do. But I definitely still exploring. Don't have all the answers yet. So.
That's great. You bring up 2 really great points, and one is mentors that you're calling on, and 2 is internships. So let's first explore mentors. Who do engineering is a tough program. It's definitely a tough program at the Ohio State University. Who are you going to sort of bend an ear, get advice, really figure out kind of next steps for your career?
I think my peers is definitely one of the first and most accessible one, between just like friends that I have that are, maybe they're just friends that I have in classes, but I have some close relationships with the people that I have in class, which is a huge help, just from a day-to-day standpoint. And then I think it's always nice, I think, also to have like maybe older peers, like some people that are maybe like a year or 2 ahead of you. I think that it's always good to sort of see what the immediate next step is, because that's helpful, like, in the moment, I guess. And then also, so I'm a resident advisor at Ohio State, and I'm in an engineering learning community, and we have a women in engineering program, so I've been helping with some programming and things for that. And one of the biggest things that they offer is a mentorship program with the first year engineering women and then the second year engineering women. And so I'm not directly involved in that mentorship program, but I've interacted with a lot, and also just from observing how great I think that is, even if it's just someone that you can get coffee with, whether or not you're talking about big career things. I think just having that, someone who understands the classes that you're going to. And then Also, I have some engineers in my family, so I think that always helps. And then I think professors are also a really great resource. So sort of challenging yourself to go beyond just knowing them in the classroom and figuring out what their background is and how they got to where they are is helpful. So yeah.
Emily, I think that's great advice. And really, for women of any age, is really look around to see what resources are available, what people you have access to, and then call on them when you need them. I think so many people often are afraid to bother people or really ask for that extra level of advice or guidance. So I just really admire you in stepping outside a comfort zone and reaching out to people to help you define what's next for you. So on that note, you talked about an internship, which I think is very impressive that you've already gone down that path. Can you talk a little bit about the process to get the internship and then what you did?
Sure. So I interned this past summer at a healthcare software company called Explorus in Cleveland, where I'm from, and it was a great experience. I learned a lot and had a really, really fun time. And so I guess as far as the process of getting an internship, Ohio State has some really big career fairs that are a little intimidating, but again, a lot of great opportunities can come from them. And so I think between going to those, also most universities have some sort of career services, especially we have one specifically for engineering. So between like resume reviews, which are really helpful, getting sort of all your stuff together, which is a little intimidating for the first time, but there's so much professional help for you to sort of get your handle on that. And so then I think also though, just taking the initiative on your own to just submit your application online to all these places, or, call them up. There's so many opportunities that may not be listed specifically. So, just kind of doing your own research as far as that goes. But yeah, universities have so many resources for you to help you find a job. So I definitely took advantage of that.
And you did not know somebody at the place in which you interned?
No, I have. So no, I mean, they're from Cleveland. So that was what I think initially like struck me as wanting to work for them. And they're involved with like the Cleveland Clinic. I know, and I have worked, for the Cleveland Clinic before, but I didn't know someone in the company. But what's great about the career fairs is that they have like their HR people or other engineers that come to represent the company. And so that was initially when I got to meet someone, which is nice because it puts a name to a face. And then, because it's hard to get everything on that resume. But so yeah, until the career fair, I didn't know anyone. Mm-hmm.
Emily, I think that's great because I think so many people sort of think that they can't get an internship unless they know somebody. And it really sounds that you've leveraged the resources available to you through career fairs, through your counselors, and getting out of your, everyday class schedule and actually attend some events so that you can secure that internship. So well done. I think well done. I think you have some great advice, and I think it just shows the initiative you take. So in addition to having that initiative and pursuing a degree that will really set you up for the future, what other advice can you give young and old women about some of the things that have really helped catapult you in the direction for a really fabulous, professional journey?
I think one big thing is just having a sense of balance. Especially for me, dance has always been something that not letting go of other things that matter to you, especially in college, because it can be really consuming, the math and the science courses. And obviously you need to put time towards that, but sort of making time for things outside of the class. And that I think carries out throughout the rest of your life. And I think, again, not being afraid to ask for help, whether you look to, professors or friends, and whether they are fellow women or, I've had lots of great male mentors as well, as far as professors go. So I think not being afraid to sort of reach out and make those relationships.
I think that's wonderful. And I see you already have a LinkedIn page, which I'm so proud of you in college to have such a really well-documented LinkedIn page. Is that something you did on your own? Did somebody tell you to get that set up?
I think initially I created it on my own, and then it wasn't until, I feel like even this for the most recent like internship search that I was going through that I started developing it more. And I think that I haven't gone to any specific classes or anything to figure out how to do that better. I think I still want to keep improving that because I think it's something that I'm more new to. But I think I like looking around at other people's LinkedIn sites just to sort of as an example to see what they're posting and things like that, so I can sort of model mine after that. So
I think that's wonderful, and there are so many internships posted on LinkedIn under the jobs tab, so it's a great place to look for jobs. So what's next for you?
I'm already looking for for internships for next summer. We already had a career fair like 2 weeks ago. In the next few weeks, I'll sort of have to start making decisions where I want to go. I have an interview this week. I had one a couple weeks ago. So you're never too early, but at the same time, depending on the company's timelines, like they all do it a little differently. I didn't get my internship until I think like February before the summer I worked. But some people get offers as soon as October or November. So, do what you're comfortable with, but be prepared that, if you want to work for, especially the bigger companies with established programs, will start searching very soon. So that's currently what I'm dealing with. Also, just I'm getting after this semester, I'll be down to my last 3 semesters. So class requirements and sort of making sure that I have all of my the right credits, obviously, and then also the focuses that I'm taking as I get more into my major. And I've decided more recently that I want to do a focus in data analytics and optimization. So that's something that I need to start preparing for and getting those classes scheduled. And then I haven't started worrying about the full-time job yet. I still have a little bit of cushion time before that. But the one thing with having internships that sort of relieves some of that stress, especially depending on when you're an intern. They definitely have a lot of their intern programs will feed into their full-time hiring. So that is sort of a big stress that can be taken off potentially. So definitely nice little bit of peace of mind. So yeah.
Well, Emily, this has been such a treat. We thank you so much for calling in from your dorm room. We really appreciate the insight, the knowledge, and I think for so many women that are moving up through high school, now in college, or shortly after college, I think they'll really benefit from just the tenacity, persistence, thinking outside the box, and really going after what you want. And for us older women, I think we have such admiration for someone like yourself that is just paving the way for women in STEM. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.